I just need a few minutes. We're starting soon. Give me a second. All right, I need to finish that up for a few minutes. Okay. Not sure about that here. Hmm. Okay, I think that's enough. All right, let me close that down. Open up everything, and then we can probably start. Okay. Okay, so what did we do last time? Let me check. I'm on YouTube, not started. What? You sure? Okay, wait. It should start now. Let me check. You sure? Okay, wait. Yeah, I hear myself. Ooh, that's embarrassing. Yeah. I think we have a bit of a delay. I don't know how much it takes, right, to get from my machine to restream and then distribute it to the other channels. I don't know. Yeah, all is well. Okay, so we stopped last time. And we actually got quite a bit going on, I think. Let's see. So I think what we did have is, okay, so we have a make file. Okay, let me make that bigger here first thing. Let's give you 150. Okay, so I think we had a make file for everything that called basically UV and run the docs. Okay, let's do that. So I think we could do make serve. And then, right, okay, let's get a browser window open. Do it like this and like that. Okay, so we got documentation. So we already filled a bit, and then after the stream, I was thinking about that, and I think we're missing a critical step here. So the critical step is, so what we do right now. So it's not, okay, so it's not a critical step that we're missing, because we set up our agent system so that it really does research. So it goes basically into the source code. It has all these information files that we extracted. It can extract information from the source code and then get basically user-facing documentation out of that. So, and that works pretty well. But what I thought after the stream is we really should basically store this this evidence. Basically, the evidence that's used to write the documentation, all the information that go into one topic, that go into one page, right? They should be stored alongside with the documentation, not for showing it on the web page, but for basically having it in the repository so that we as humans can verify everything is correct. And I think that is critical, because at some point, first it's easier, right? Because it will be very condensed. It will only be the information that go into it, not all the sugar, and not basically how the topic is laid out educationally, so that we have a clear start, right? And we basically lead our audience through the topic, as complex as it may be. So it's only the information that are the basis. And this can be checked quite easily, especially for the people who developed GrammarKit, because there was other people that I never worked on GrammarKit, right? I used it, and it's a plugin. It's okay. I understand what happens there, right? But I never worked on it myself. And for using it, I also had to check how it works, right? So I'm not the, how would you say, the point of excellence here. I have no clue actually, right? So I need to check everything when I use it. Okay, so right. So first things first, obviously it's not GrammarKit, it's GrammarKit with a dash in it. So let's fix this up. I think that comes right from the mkdocs here, from the mkdocs config, GrammarKit documentation. So, and here as well. Okay. Now let's see if we have it somewhere else. Of course, it's in the file name. That's okay. That's okay. I think it's okay to have it here, right? Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Where's this come from? That's some library, right? Yeah. Okay, so that hopefully, so here we have installation. Okay. So probably we should not fix that up ourselves. Okay, so let's keep that for the moment. And now we're basically back to the drawing board a bit. I need to change somehow the chat here. So because I see all the time what I'm doing on the other screen, and that's a bit distracting. Okay, so we're back to the drawing board. So we got OpenCode open here, and essentially what I want to do is let itself go through all the sub agents here and agents, and ensure that when I give them something to do, that they store the evidence alongside the documentation. Okay, so let's check. So I think our entry point here is tech docs. This is the orchestrator. I think, yeah. So, and here we have the multi-stage workflow. So it does first code analysis and analysis reports, documentation planning from the topic architect. Then we have a drafter. Then we have an example generator, and we have, so I'm not really sure, right, why it's in that way, because obviously the drafter should have the examples already. Okay, let's just give it a go. Step by step. So one thing we have is we have everything on Git, so we see if some things get screwed up. Yeah, let's just commit that. Also, our state tracking is completely off, because we have used, I think, the workflow state, and it never changed. So, okay, there's lots to do. Okay, so we got basically here the workflow. Do code analysis, documentation planning, content creation, which is questionable because I think the examples should come first, and then we have polish and validation, final documentation. Okay, so we should change that, I think. So we turn that around. So, and let's look into what actually happens. So the topic architect is supposed to do what exactly? So you're part of technical. Okay, so here it's the same. At least it's consistent. Let's go through here. I think it's the same here. Example. Development, practical examples. All right. Content creation, initial documentation. Right. Okay. And here we change it as well. And I probably could just call OpenCode to do it, but we want to get through it and see if that's really what we should do. Okay, so then we have the copy editor. And here as well. Okay, so here it says basically we start with the code analyst. So let me turn on wrapping so we see something. Yes, wrap please. So you are a code analysis specialist for technical documentation. You extract information from source code to create a knowledge base for user-facing documentation. So that's not the entire truth, because it also needs to go through what we already have in the information directory. So task management, you use to-dos to track your analysis. Code analysis tasks, explore repository structure, identify main components, extract from, okay. So we need to fix that up first. Identify project layout. Find main entry points, locate configuration files, map component relations, information extraction, comments and doc strings, function methods, signatures, configuration options, error messages and logging, test files for usage examples. Yeah, that sounds pretty good if you're just looking on the code. So feature discovery, what features exist, how they're intended to be used, common patterns in the code, integration points. Okay. Implementation understanding, core algorithms simplified, data flow, key dependencies, architectural decisions. Okay, so output files. So here's the big chunk, because we need to change that, right? Right now it somehow wants to put that, unless I tell it differently, to put that in a analysis folder. This is probably not what we want. Okay, so let's do that first. We commit everything here so that we get a clean slate. And then let's take the terminal here. All right, so we're in the right directory. And now this project uses the it's called tech docs. Why doesn't it know that? The tech docs. Okay, agent. Because I can't. Okay, yeah, the text doc agent and its sub agents to create technical documentation. Your task is to design changes to all project agents so that the information flow between them is consistent. I still don't know how to make a goddamn enter in in OpenCode. I have no clue. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I could just, okay, wait, we can do that. We can do it like that and say new session. Oh, that's the new session. Okay. Okay, I think I copied it. How can I insert an enter on a line break in the OpenCode terminal without sending the prompt? Question mark, go. Shift enter. I think I tried that, my friend. But we will see. Let me. No, it doesn't work. It was shift and enter. What could be reasons if shift plus enter does not work in my terminal, in my default standard or whatever, let's call it standard terminal on Ubuntu, question mark. Okay, many terminal emulators don't support multi-line input by default. GNOME terminal doesn't have built-in multi-line editing. Single line, okay. Okay. Yeah, the shift enter shortcut is specific to OpenCode interface. Yeah, I see. If you're in a regular terminal running commands directly, this won't work. Yeah, I understood that. Make sure you're running OpenCode. Yes, I did. The shift enter should work within the OpenCode interface itself. If it still doesn't work, check your terminal emulator settings. Okay, how would I do that? Terminal emulator settings. Some terminals might have shift enter bound to other actions. Okay, we can do that. I'm pretty sure I don't. Preferences. But maybe not. So we have shift here. Shift. No. So I don't see shift enter anywhere. Yeah, I think we tried, so I think last time I was pretty annoyed and I think we tried everything out. So we will see if we can check out Alt enter. So I don't see shift enter and I hope I'm not blind. No. Okay, so it's not here. So testing out Alt enter. Oh Christ. Okay, I have to say I'm sorry. I'm honestly almost entirely sure I tried that out. I tried shift enter, I tried control shift enter, I tried control enter. And why would I leave out Alt enter? Okay. So Alt enter. Thank you, C programmer. Okay, continue. So we were here and we want now a new session. And I want to, no, I don't want to paste one line. I want to see the line I pasted. Okay, wait, let us switch back. Which session? Here? Okay. No, we're not supposed to do that. Thank you, but it was Alt and Enter. A human helped me. You're absolutely right, it's Alt Enter. What? Why doesn't it know that? No. So, okay. Can you access the official documentation of OpenCode and find out how... Okay, let's put our question first. When I paste when I paste some text into OpenCode, I don't see the verbatim text. All I see is, let's do it like that, one line pasted or something like that, right? Can you access the official documentation of OpenCode and find out how I can really paste the text and see it in the prompt? Question mark. Ooh, let it chew on that. Because it has web fetch. It can do that. Let me check. Troubleshooting. Yeah, based on the paste keybind is Control V. Okay. The multi-line input keybind is Alt Enter, as you discovered, yeah? Not Shift Enter. However, I couldn't find any specific. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't even know where we were. Switch session. Where? So today we have only that. Okay, and I think so I can press Control V. One image. What? One line. Okay. Let's do it the old way. Go here. Mark that now. Like this. And oh, middle mouse doesn't work here. It usually works. Okay, so we have to write it again. Okay. This project uses the, I think I can call the example generator reference checker, yeah, but I can't call the main agents like that. Uses the TechDocs agent. I wrote. Yeah, so when you see the pasted line thing, that's Control Shift V, and Control V. Oh, you said Shift Enter. Wait, Shift Insert. Shift Insert. Yeah, pasted one line. Okay, I'm quick with typing. Come on. And it's sub agents to create technical documentation. Documentation. I always misspell documentation. Your task is I spelled something wrong there. Is to design changes to all project agents so that the information flow between them is consistent. Right. So now we can try it out. Woo, look at that. So now we need to give it okay. It's really, really hard to specify that in detail without missing anything so that the LLM can reinterpret the things I say and do other things. Okay, here is how I want it to work. When I request the documentation of a topic, ooh, that's going to be hard. The thing is, I want both to work. So first I say, okay, I want to say, okay, look, we got this, let me close it up here. We got this info and we have a documentation outline. So first, let's say we have a quick start tutorial, right? So this is all you need to do. And I want you to create documentation. Then what I wanted to do is, okay, first, go into the info folder here, check the file list and the file meta to understand where it can look for information in the source code. It should also look into the things like general documentation outline patterns maybe, right? Or the main image description or the user task map, right? To understand, okay, how can we tell the story of this page properly, right? So, and after doing that, it should check all the sources and it should write basically this evidence that it finds what it needs to actually write down, the information, not what it needs to write down, but the information that need to be included. I want it to put that in a folder. I don't care where, right? But it needs to reflect basically the complete structure of the docs so that we have for each page a folder with what topics are in there, what links do we need to link to, what other pages are relevant, where can these things be found in the source code, right? So basically, where did I get the information? Did I hallucinate something up? Or did I find it really somewhere? That's what I want to know. So, and then it needs to store it in the folder. And then in the next step, is usually the topic architect, I think. So, no, we have the analysis. Yeah, the topic architect is the next step. So this needs to go and look at all the evidence and come up with an educational plan how to structure this information from top to bottom so that it reads nicely and basically that it has this arc and doesn't start with something that's not understandable. So then we have basically the example generator that also needs to look into this into this code analyst evidence ledger to see, okay, what unit tests are relevant. What I don't want is, for instance, that the example generator checks the repository of code again by itself. I don't want that. So the drafter doesn't need to search anything at all. All the information need to be in our evidence ledger already, right? So what's the outline of the topic? What are all the information? And so on. And then it can just draft something. And then we polish it through with the copy editor and check all the references and so on and so forth. So that's the first thing when I want to say, okay, here's the topic, go research it, create a plan, write it down, and polish it. So this is where basically this multi-step thing comes in. So, but then, now, think that we created a bunch of pages, right? At some point, we probably need to go through them again and, for instance, check if the internal links are all correct and there, right? So maybe we have a topic and something that comes after this topic that wasn't created back when we created the documentation for that, but explains a sub portion. Then I want a link from that page to the other page. So we need to go through with it. And that's probably the job of the reference checker, right? So I want to be able that the reference checker, that I can say, okay, please check this page again for missing links or missing internal links. Then it needs to look on the evidence for this topic, understand the structure, right? And then it needs to basically go through whatever documentation we have and see, okay, can we reference to another page and does it make sense, and so on and so forth. So the sub-agents need to work also by themselves at some point, right? Same with the copy editor. Probably not so much with the drafter. The drafter always needs information. So, but maybe we want to call the example generator again, right? Okay. So that's why I'm struggling a bit right now to let it pinpoint everything to this workflow here. So when I request the documentation of a topic, the agent and sub-agents. Of a topic. Oh, Christ. So what do we, so we need to step by step. Okay, let's write down what I know. For each topic or separate topic in info documentation outline, I want a folder in a subfolder or a subfolder in, we call it evidence ledger. Is that a stupid word? Or call it just evidence, or I don't want to call it info because info is the global info about the project. Yeah, let's call it evidence ledger. In the evidence ledger, where all specific information from the analyst sub-agent The example generator and so on is stored. The evidence ledger directory structure needs to mirror. Maybe we put that in a new point. Okay, so we can do that now. Needs to mirror the documentation structure and outline. So for each separate topic, there should be a subfolder where all subfolder, I don't know how often I have to repeat that or if it understands it. Subfolder in evidence ledger where all information about this topic is stored in, okay, stored. Oh, I'm afraid to press enter without it. Information in evidence in the evidence ledger need to be compressed. Is compressed the right word? Condensed and I think like that, concise as much as possible. The evidence can, should, not can, should contain links to files in the GrammarKit repository if required. Okay, what else? Must be ensured that the only subagents no, it must be ensured that subagents read this evidence ledger instead of hunting down information in the GrammarKit repository by themselves. The main subagent who collects and writes evidence is the code analyst. SAP agent who collect and write evidence are the code analyst, example generator, and maybe the reference checker. Okay. Ooh, what did I do here? No! Ah! R. The code analyst. Example generator and reference checker. So can I press Alt Enter now, please? Yeah, thank you. Copy editor, drafter, and topic architect only read the evidence ledger and should not do a search for information by themselves unless explicitly told otherwise. Okay. The output files for the evidence ledger should be standardized for each agent so that it knows where to write and read from. For instance, the code analyst could create I don't know, code evidence.md file for each topic, right? Sounds good. So we got that. Let me get something to drink. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Could turn the camera again. Left. Okay, so we got that. Okay, let's just demand more. There should be a way to, is that the right word? Retrospectively create the evidence ledger for already existing documentation topics, and yeah, there should be a way. Why is there a comma here? To update existing documentation topics from updated evidence ledgers. What else do we need? So we want it like that. Okay, so I think this is good. So this will fix basically the whole pipeline first. And then we can look on, for instance, the code analyst and the stuff and say, okay, so the code analyst should start by looking into the info folder and only then starting to browse the repository. Additionally, okay, let me write it down, because we must not forget to add web search for the reference checker, I guess. Right, so one of the agents need to be able to access the web and look for information. So so first the code analyst, and then the references. So web search. And here, first info. So a C programmer, are you still here? Or you're already offline? So I think I'll just send that out. Let's see. So I think it's almost a week. How is your stream plan going? I'm always asking the same question. Comprehensive plan for evidence ledger system based on my analysis. I'll assign a standardized. Okay. You deleted your Twitch. What? I was wondering why you're on YouTube. Okay. That's good. I mean, you're busy with work, you mean? You really deleted your Twitch? That's funny. I mean, not too bad. You see, I mean, it's right. It's always the middle of the night here for me. So before that, I rarely have time to stream or to find the silence to stream. So it's the same here. But I'm glad. I'm glad that you're busy with family. That sounds good. It's also very busy with family here because right now the kids are off school because they have, it's not called vacation, it's called, I don't know how this is called. Let me check. On holidays. Are they on holidays? Is that holidays? I don't know. What is that? School holidays. Yeah. Yeah, they're on school holidays, so yeah, it's pretty crowded during the day. I mean, it's okay. So they are not grown up, but they're big enough to do stuff for themselves. So I can work in silence. That's okay. Right, but still, I think streaming during the day wouldn't be the greatest idea. Okay, each agent. So standardized agent output files. Okay. Code analyst output code evidence. Relevant files. Code analyst outputs code evidence MD. So I don't understand why it puts relevant files. Okay, let's see. I think standardized. Okay, so evidence writers gather information. Evidence ledger, code evidence, reads from GrammarKit. Okay, so we can fix that. Example generator reads from GrammarKit, test data, code evidence. Okay. Working examples, reference checker. So topic architect writes to topic summary, reads from all evidence files, right? Forbid direct access to GrammarKit repository. Drafter reads from all evidence files. Okay, that sounds good. So for new topics, TechDocs creates topic directory in evidence ledger. Yes. Can it do that? I think we need to adjust the permissions there. Okay, we will see. Code analyst analyzes relevant code, writes code evidence. Example generator generates example files, writes examples. Reference checker validates information, writes references. Topic architect designs structure, topic summary, and drafter creates documentation from all evidence. Okay. Okay. For updates, okay. Sounds good. Metadata management. create evidence ledger, metadata, evidence index JSON. Okay, sounds good. Then we have basically that summary of evidence ledger system design. I've designed a comprehensive evidence ledger system that addresses all your requirements. Key features: mirror structure. The evidence ledger exactly mirrors the documentation outline with folders for each topic. Exactly, that's good. That's how I want it. Standardized files, code evidence, examples. Okay, perfect. Clear permissions. Writers is the analyst, the example generator, reference checker. Readers is that. You're right. Retrospective process for existing docs. Run evidence writers to populate the ledger. Update mechanism. Okay, questions for you. Directory naming. Should we use the exact section numbers or more readable names? So I think we don't have the section numbers in the docs, do we? Right? No, we don't. 1. Since this is not a book, but an online documentation, exact numbers are not required. The docs substructure and the structure oh no wait, the evidence ledger should follow the docs substructure. Where no numbers are used, since they wouldn't make sense in an online documentation. Okay, so second, version control. Should we track evidence versions or just overwrite with updates? So I think it did already that here, right? No, wait, what questions for you? Clear permissions. So I oh no, we're at second, which is evidence condensation. How condensed should the evidence be? Should we have size limits for each file? Okay, so how condensed should it be? The evidence is the ground truth of the documentation. It does not need to be oh God. What do you say here, right? I want it really just... Of course, it needs to be understandable, but it doesn't need to be... Okay. No nicely formulated sentences are required. needs to be understood precisely. Condense it. So no, that's the thing. It's right. It's not an outline. So at least from what I understand is, so an outline. If I have an outline to a document, right? It's how you would do it as how I did it when I wrote whatever, my thesis or something, right? So you think about what you want to say, then you have a detailed outline, and it's already basically the order in which you want to say things, right? So, and in the best case, you have an outline point for each paragraph you're writing, because what's the key point of this paragraph, right? And then you just need to think, okay, I need these 5 sentences that make up this paragraph, and that's what actually writing is. And then it needs to, if you did a good job, then it really flows and you can read it through and it sounds nice and it makes you so. But the evidence itself does not need to be ordered, right? So let's say it goes through the repository and finds lots of stuff that are important for this topic of the documentation. The evidence itself doesn't care about the outline or the order, it just needs the evidence for it, right? So this portion says that you should use that, and that. So next point could be completely unrelated, right? So, and with this evidence, you let basically the topic architect loose, and the topic architect now creates a readable outline, right? It can still be condensed as much as possible, but this should be an outline, you're right. And then the drafter and the copy editor can do whatever they want to make it actually readable and enjoyable, right? So, but the evidence from the analysis of the code and the evidence from the reference checker doesn't need to be an outline. I think it's bullet points. So, and I really want it as condensed as possible, so that you still understand what it means, but nothing more, right? No nice language, no nothing. This code says you should press Ctrl-Alt-P, right? To do exactly that. That's it. And even that is a whole sentence that's not required. So, however, the evidence needs to be understood precisely. Therefore, condense it as much as possible, but the meaning of the information needs to persist. And this is really where I wish I would be a native speaker, because I know exactly how I need to say that in my language. Okay, version control. Should we track evidence? Yes. The metadata JSON format you suggested sounds like is a good idea. It lets us track when certain topics were updated last. So, priority topics. Which documentation sections should we create evidence for first? I don't understand the question, honestly, because which documentation section should we create evidence first? Okay, skip creating evidence for now. Your task is to ensure the agent system can be used to update evidence or to create or recreate it or retrospectively. Okay. Additional metadata. What other tracking information would be helpful in the evidence JSON? Oh God, if I knew, right? So what did he suggest? So he said, where was it here? Code evidence true, examples true, reference topic summary true. Documentation status complete, needs update false. I think that's pretty good already. I have no further ideas. Okay. I think this is only a let's see. I don't know. We can revert back if anything goes wrong. Maybe I wrote completely useless stuff. I'm not sure where it writes this to, because I don't know if the plan agent is actually able to. It shouldn't be. No changes except the ones we did here. Ooh, wait. Two. Ooh, la la la. No one saw anything. What are we looking at? I didn't see a thing. No. The thing was I pasted the stuff here, right? That the prompt that I was copying that I couldn't copy verbatim in. So that was still here, and I'm afraid, and I just copied it into the code analyst agent file. So it was still there. I hope it's not a problem. Let's see. No, I didn't leak anything sensitive, unfortunately. Sorry. I'm not really sure what it does here, right? I'm not sure where it stores this stuff. I mean, I can, oh no, now it's done. Okay. I can go to, so previous is Control X, Control X left. Right? Parent is Control, okay. So it did something. Okay. So, think summary of agent substance design. Okay, I've designed comprehensive. So, evidence ledger, getting started, introduction, right, that's correct. Exactly. So, code roles and permissions, evidence writers, we had this. Focus on user relevant information. Creates minimal working examples, reads from code evidence, MD first. Yes. Can access test data for real examples. I think we can fix that later, right? It doesn't need to be test data. It can be, we need to check. We probably can give it a direct location where all BNF files are located. The GrammarKit files, right? So reference checker writes references, validates all evidence, tracks validation dates, lists errors found. I'm not even sure. Okay, so we will see. Evidence readers, topic architect. Cannot access sources directly. That's right. The drafter writes to docs, transforms evidence into documentation, uses all evidence files as input, maintains 100% fidelity to evidence. Exactly, that's what I want. The copy editor edits docs, polishes existing documentation, uses evidence as source of truth, reports discrepancies. Okay. Key implementation details, metadata tracking, JSON file tracks evidence status, versions and update needs. Yes, update process, condensed format evidence, uses bullet points and minimal descriptions, not prose. Okay, prose is probably the word I was looking for. So you still need clarification. Okay, directory creation. Should the system automatically create the evidence ledger directory structure when starting, or should it be pre-created? I think it should be created. Second, agent integration. Should we update the TechDocs orchestrator agent to manage this new evidence? Yes, definitely. I think I want to have another look because I think there's something else that we wanted to fix here. Yes. Okay, so this documentation focus. Yes. Also fix that the orchestrator does not maintain the, how is it called? Workflow state. Workflow state MD any longer. Our current progress goes into the is stored in the JSON metadata data for the evidence ledger. Okay, what else we got? So third, migration timeline. Should we create evidence for all existing completed documentation sections first or start with new sections? Christ, you're asking the same question again. I don't know. You shouldn't start anything. You should first implement the thing. Neither. Neither. Right? Write out a prompt I can use to update the evidence ledger for all X files to do we have prompts? To prompts update ledger.md. I will call this later. I want to first see the changes. Error handling. When evidence writers find issues, broken code references, should they still create partial evidence files or wait for fixes? They should inform me of the errors and continue processing. Automation. Would you like a script commands to help manage the evidence creation update process? No, not now. You cannot. You're still in plan mode, for Christ's sake. Will you tell this? Or will you just try to do it? Preparing write. Yes, you cannot. Let me read what exists first and then present the plan for the evidence ledger system. Oh God. Can I then, okay, so probably I did this wrong, right? Probably I should have switched to build mode, answer the question and let it go wild. Okay. So now we will do that differently because it's still similar questions. And I hope the work of the last, I don't know, 1 hour wasn't in vain because I was too stupid to switch. Okay, so first we switch build 1. Create them on demand as topics are processed. Should we track individual file changes at the line level, or is file level hash comparison sufficient? Oh God, file level hash comparison is sufficient. Evidence file size limit. Should we enforce size limits on evidence files to ensure they remain condensed? If so, what limits? No. It shouldn't be that big. Validation frequency. How often would reference checker revalidate existing? On demand. If some evidence files fail to generate, yes. This plan ensures. Okay, can you just tell me, right? Just say, okay, please answer the questions, switch to build mode, implement the plan. Christ. Okay, that's good. Why is this called ACP session? No clue. So let's see. What did it do? Documentation creation phase. Okay. Clear. So that's unchanged. That's good. Evidence metadata. Evidence ledger metadata. Evidence index JSON. Read at session start to understand progress. Update after completing evidence for each topic. Tracks evidence completeness and documentation sync status. Contains file hashes for change detection. Okay, good. Always begin by reading evidence ledger metadata to check documentation progress. Understand the source code repository location. Okay. Creating a to-do list based on missing audit, showing the user both evidence status and planned tasks. Okay, that's good. If starting fresh, gather. Okay, so we can fix that because it's always the same audience. Stage execution rules. Complete one stage at a time. Mark to-dos complete immediately when done. Create evidence ledger directories on demand as topics are processed after each evidence collection. Update metadata. Evidence writers must complete before evidence readers start. Yes. Wait for users' approval before processing the documentation creation. Track evidence completeness in metadata. Delegation rules. Critical. Never edit or write files directly. You are a pure orchestrator. All file operations go through subagents. Okay. Evidence writers. Topic. Does it somewhere explain that it should mirror? Okay, choose your structure. Source of truth. Evidence ledger, getting started, introduction. Okay, so it says here. Documentation, docs, main landing. Okay. For documentation topic, for each documentation topic, create directory evidence ledger, section topic, collect evidence, parallel where possible, coordinates, extract technical facts from GrammarKit. Okay. Synthesize after evidence collection, topic architect, design documentation structure from evidence. Okay, so metadata structure. Okay, sounds good. Document errors in the evidence file. Continue processing other topics when errors occur. Mark topics as evidence incomplete in metadata. Report all errors at session end for manual review. Allow documentation creation with partial evidence if needed. Okay, that sounds good. So, finally, create the copy editor prompt. Do I have some viewers on Twitch? I don't think so. Let me see. 1 viewer on Twitch, 2 on YouTube. I'm not allowed to say that, by the way. The the Twitch terms of services are pretty clear about that. I think I can say it. What I can't do is, which is a bit unfortunate, right? So I mean, I have this combined chat that I see basically chatters from everywhere, and so I'm not allowed to display that. That's the term in the terms of services of Twitch, I think. But it's okay, right? So if I had more viewers that would say something, then I could just read out what they're saying, and all is good. And I've seen other streamers who have the same setup, and it works as well, even if you have, I don't know, a couple of hundred viewers. So, okay, quality checklist. How can I jump to the end? Okay. I think it's done. Not even sure. Am I the one who's watching Twitch? I think I don't have it open. Let me see. Twitch. Go to my channel. Yeah, I think it's Stream Elements who's watching me. Yeah, you were my only true 1 viewer. And that's okay. I mean, we chatter quite a bit, right? So what would I do if I had, I don't know, 10 or 20 viewers and then I had to chat all the time? Okay, so what was done? So I've successfully implemented the evidence ledger system with the following components. Update TechDoc orchestrator. Perfect. We will look on these. Create update prompt. Okay, agent-specific prompts, system documentation, evidence ledger spec, MD complete specification with metadata format. Evidence ledger implementation summary and usage. Okay, so where did this go? Okay, key features. Directories created on demand, file level hash comparison, no size limits, on-demand validation, support for partial evidence, clear separation between agents who cannot access GrammarKit. System is now ready to use. You can run the retroactive update process using prompts, update ledger. So let's check here. And one of the things I'm really wondering about is that my file system is not monitored. So if I do ls here, I think we see, oh no, it should go to prompts. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, okay, so here we have that. Evidence ledger system specification overview. Okay, so where do I need that? Do I need that? Does someone else need to see this? So evidence ledger implementation summary. What was implemented? Okay. I mean, you showed me what was implemented, so I think it just... Okay. There are no changes here, my friend. Why didn't... So it updated the docs. Wait, to do... Okay, so I'm pretty sure... Okay. Reload from disk. No. Git status. No. Ooh, wait. There's a prompts agents. Why didn't it put it directly there? Maybe it's not allowed to? Draft or evidence? What did it do? Okay. Your task was to update the agent system in, I can just do that like that, .OpenCode agent. Instead, you created the agent files in prompts agents. If I now write, please incorporate the changes into that, will it create a mess? I have no clue. The task was to update the agent system in OpenCode agent. Instead, you created the agent files in. Why didn't you update the existing agents? Question mark. I should have been updated. You're not supposed to apologize. I wanted to know why. That looks more sensible. Quick toilet break while this runs through. Oh, another thing. Another thing we must not forget is the drafter and the editor need to use the language skill. The language skill that we created. So now it looks better, right? So see, we have all the edits here, and then we can get rid of the rest. What I wonder is if basically the agent can tell me how I can test the system effectively. I really don't know. The language skill part is, I think, I'm not sure if you remember, but last time we were fixing basically how the language sounds that comes out of it, right? So we have here, we have basically, so inside the OpenCode folder, this is uninteresting, right? The agent is important, and you have a skills folder, and we have a human style. And here we say exactly how we want the text to sound, right? So that we don't get these, I don't know, these bullet point, one sentence paragraph, everything is excellent and stuff, right? That really sounds like AI. We want to have human readable stuff. And it's a pretty long list, basically. Right, and then we added things like never use EM dashes. It's really unfortunate because in books I quite liked EM dashes, and now it becomes the hallmark of AI generated stuff. So for instance, I never liked the curly quotes. I just think in technical documentation, you can use the straight quotes here, right? And you need to tell it, otherwise it uses the other ones. So then we have things like avoid humor, jokes, sarcasm, right? And all these, how's it called? This motivational speak stuff, right? Yeah, pep talks, motivational lines. And maybe we need to, and maybe we need later, we need to add a bit more of, I don't know, maybe not jokes, but, right? So that it sounds a bit warm. But I don't know. So, and then there's these things that you struggle with, at least. So when I wrote for science, when you write scientific papers, you always struggle with that, because in science you never do anything, right? So when you write a scientific paper, the experiment did itself, right? So the experiment was performed by some unknown entity, and the results were created, right? So, and I don't like that. And it's really strange that in science, or in publications in science, you have this third party, someone else did something, right? So, and here we can really say, yeah, use something, use active voice, present tense, right? I can talk to you, and so on and so forth, right? And then I think we also have here, right, one of the things that are also standard templates. No, wait. I think we should have use plain language and concrete verbs, active voice, present tense, second person, cut filler, and self-referential framing. Let example speaks. So I think we don't even have it here. I was sure I included it. That I don't want too many verbs, not verbs, too many adjectives and adverbs that are also very common, right? Basically, the list of rules that you read in every style guide for authors. Say something clear. If there's a good noun or a good verb that tells something, use that instead of describing it with adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so I think it's done. Yes, so now I also remove the files again, which is good. And then we can check here, OpenCode agent. So let's start with the topic architect. Rep, thank you. You design documentation structure based on evidence files. You are an evidence reader. You cannot access GrammarKit source. Yeah, that's the topic architect. I wanted to start here. Sorry. So you are a technical documentation orchestrator. You manage the creation of user-friendly documentation from source code repositories. You never edit files directly. You always delegate to specialized subagents. That's correct. You manage a multi-stage documentation process using evidence ledger system. So we read that evidence collection, documentation creation phase. Then documentation focus, user-facing feature documentation, not API references, right? Clear explanation, explanations of how to use the software, practical examples and common use cases, progressive disclosure of complexity, that's important, language agnostic approach, yes. I think we can skip that, but because it's not really language agnostic. I think I had to include it in the beginning. when it asked me what files to analyze. Probably we don't need that. State tracking, dual system, use both. Systems for maximum visibility. Live to-do list, evidence metadata. Exactly. So, and here we can get rid of the flow state or workflow state. Yes. And if we search for workflow, dispatch, no, that's not it. That's not it. No, 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 no. No. Okay. Update after completing evidence. Yeah, so we had that. Always begin by, we read that. We read that. So evidence writers. Okay, so we had that. Yes, we had that. Yes, we had that. And if evidence collection fails, yes. Okay, so that's good. Now, the first thing it's called is the analyst. So, analyzes source code repositories to extract information from documentation. Temperature 0 to 1. Yeah, it can be a bit creative. So read allow, write allow, edit allow to do exactly. Okay, so you are a code analyst, analysis specialist for technical documentation. You extract technical facts from source code and write them to evidence files in the evidence ledger system. You are part of the evidence ledger documentation workflow as an evidence writer. That's you. Okay, you have full access to the GrammarKit source code repository. Task management. So, analysis approach, language agnostic. Repository structure, identify project layouts. Okay, so first thing that's missing and that we will fix is basically that it should start in the info thing. Okay, so that we will fix in a second, but I want to commit that first. Output location and format. For a topic at docs getting started introduction, write to evidence ledger getting started introduction evidence. Exactly. Include file paths. Focus on what users can do, not internal implementation. I think that's a bit short here in that description. Ah, we'll see. Not sure. Not sure if that works. So the next step is the, I think, example generator. What's the next step? Code analyst, example generator, and reference checker. So example generator. So allow. You create minimal working examples for evidence ledger system. You are so You are an evidence writer with limited access, with limited GrammarKit access. Workflow context. You are part of an evidence ledger system. Yes, obviously you need to repeat that all the time, but it doesn't matter. Access restriction. Why? Why allowed access to GrammarKit? Other GrammarKit sources. I don't know. So if we go to GrammarKit and do something like, I don't know, find in here minus name star.bnf, what comes out? It's a lot in bin test data. Okay, let's add bin test to that list. And GrammarKit bin test for real examples. Forbidden. Okay, I want to change it a bit. Only access other GrammarKit sources if referenced by codeevidence.md. I think that's sensible. Key points. Okay, when to use, why it's wrong. No pros, just examples and bullet points. Process. Why is it wrong here? What happened here? Bad example. Okay, so here, that's wrong. What not to do. So. Okay. Looks good. So then we have the reference checker. To do read. So it validates technical accuracy and references in documentation. You validate references and cross links in evidence files. That's not really what I wanted. Okay. You can access GrammarKit to verify references. Output. References. Okay. No. Never. Okay, so it shouldn't reference file name.java or something. You reference and cross-link. Validate reference and cross. Oh, you validate references and cross-links in evidence files. Okay, I thought that's a verb. You're an evidence writer. I not really validate, right? Okay, so we need to fix that as well. So the reference should be to internal pages. Okay. References to internal pages. And external ones, but not to source code, never. Maybe we could make an exception to link to test data. That would be okay. So validation process, read all evidence files, check existing docs topics if it exists. Yes. Extract all references, file paths, line numbers, class, and so on. Okay. So we need to fix that. So we had this, we had that, right? Tech docs. So topic architect now. You design documentation structure based on evidence files. You are an evidence reader. You cannot access GrammarKit source. Okay. Only read evidence files. Yes. For context, yes. Okay, output location or topic summary. Okay. I mean, that could work. Key takeaways, documentation notes, structure. Okay. No speculation. Don't suggest content without evidence. Yes. Logical flow. Arrange evidence into learnable sequence. Include all evidence in structure. No, that's not. That will go wrong, pretty sure. Okay, keep summaries brief and actionable. We'll leave it in. Where have you been? It should be dinner time for you, right? Process. Read all evidence files for the topic. Identify what can be taught from evidence. Extract prerequisites from references MD. Map evidence to logical sections. Define clear learning objectives. Note any gaps or issues. Okay. That sounds reasonable. So the drafter. You transform evidence files into user-friendly documentation. You're an evidence reader. You cannot access GrammarKit source. Okay. Workflow context. You are part of that. Forbidden. You don't access GrammarKit. Only read evidence files. Oh, you had to pee. What was for dinner on your side of the world? So I think we had. What was for dinner? I think it was just bread. Yeah, nothing specific. I think yesterday we had pasta. Basta. I don't know how to say basta or pasta in English. Let me check.
Pasta.
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 Pasta. Tagliatelle.
Okay, so that is definitely not an English word. So what is oh wait, let me check. So this is we had spaghetti.
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 Bolognese.
Can you hear that? Oh yeah, you can, right? Wait, let me see. You should hear that.
Bolognese.
Bolognese. For us, it's bolognese. We don't say bolognese. Bolognese? I don't know. Oh, you're cheating. I did that as well on, I think, on the weekend. Oh, that was so good. I mean, I can't make it too spicy, right? Because otherwise no one will eat it. But, oh, it was good anyway. Yeah, chili is awesome. And I didn't do it for a very, very long time, I think. Maybe a year. I think I read somewhere, I'm not sure anymore, but I think I read somewhere that in South American countries, maybe I'm saying stupid things, right? Because but where something like chili is eaten, right? And they eat it really spicy. I think it helps them to suppress parasites and stuff. I added, okay, so wait, I need to Google that. And I think to not look. Ooh. Sriracha. Sriracha cha Texas pitas. And that's really, it's medium. Okay, it's medium hot sauce. So, I mean, I put in a bit of chili flakes, but really just tiny bit. It was okay. It did not burn at all. You know, we have this. Do you know that one? Wait, let me search that. Wait. I don't know how to say that. So I just call it sambal ölek. I don't know if that's correct, but it's really, really spicy. Not spicy in a, I don't know, Mexican spicy way, but it is really spicy. And so, and there was a point where I really, really liked that. And I ate it to normal stuff, right? I just put a bit on, and I was so used to it that I could just eat it from a spoon, basically. And my wife was asking me how it tastes. I said, I don't know. I mean, I was eating it, so we were eating, I don't know, bread or something, or spaghetti or something, and I put it on, and I just ate it, and I took a bit more and took a bit more, and and she, yeah, and she asked how it tastes, and I said, well, I just try it, and I took a small teaspoonful, right? I know it was unfair. I think she never makes that mistakes again. That mistake again. But now she knows that it's really, really hot. I don't even know where I know that from. I think it's from I don't know, maybe from people I know in Hungary. I think they also have very spicy stuff. Yeah, that was really good, right? She wasn't expecting it at all. And usually that never works. Something like that never works, right? But I was eating it, and she was, so how does it taste? And I said, yeah, just try it out. And oh Christ, yeah, that was funny 10 minutes. So forbidden. Okay, so you read that Examples, references, topic summary. Writing guidelines. So what we need to check is actually if we can include OpenCode include skill in is this preamble? Preamble in agent skills. So reusable skill definitions. Okay, so we have that. So how you use it? Understand. Right front matter. No. No. Override per agent. So I can just say allow. Okay, so let's see. So basically I have to put here in the drafter something like skill. And then I can say here human style, like this. Allow. I think that needs also be wrapped in. So like that. So writing guidelines, evidence-based, user-friendly, use all facts and examples from evidence. I think, I'm not sure if the drafter should, yeah, maybe it should. Accurate, preserve technical meaning while improving readability. Is there more style, transformation, evidence? Okay. Output, content rules. Clear quality checklist. Okay, so in here, style. Use human skill for all writing. Okay, quality checklist, all code, all links, references, structure, blah, blah, blah. Information added beyond evidence, technical accuracy preserved. Okay. Let's see, we will try it out. Okay, so, and then we have the copy editor. Again, yes, skill. And now your part, track a process, evidence as truth. The evidence files are pre-validated facts. If docs contradict evidence, fix docs, yes. Language and style. So, we don't need that. We just say, always use human style. Skill. Okay, so and then we're done, right? Reference checker, so we got everything covered. Okay. So first we make a commit. So we only updated the agent files. Refine agent guidelines to align with the evidence ledger system workflow. That's all we want to say. So now we got that. Okay. We have here update ledger. You're tasked with creating evidence files for all existing documentation in GrammarKit. Okay, so no. First, scan docs. Execute the following process: directory creation. It should know that. Why does it need to repeat everything we... Okay, so we will try that out. Do we know? No, we don't. So first, code analyst. Code analyst needs some update. Zero. Preparation. It's good. That's wrong. So read info. So how does it refer to? Okay, so it refers to like this. So I'm not sure. So what I'm wondering, and that I need to clear up, is when I say here, add something, right? And I can say, okay, I can, for instance, refer to that. Does it send it like this to the LLM, or is it converted to something like that, like this here, like that, right? Like a simple block, not a block A, an inline code. I don't know. So read info file meta MD to understand the location of related files within the GrammarKit repository. That's the first step. The user task map is probably something for... It's really long, this document. So we will leave that for the topic. So, and I think we can just put it here. Read info main image description .md to understand the main features of the BNF grammar used in GrammarKit. I'm not exactly sure what it does here, right? But so, okay, we have that. That's in test data, in grammars. Let me put that quickly into sample generator. And GrammarKit / grammars for real examples. Okay. Okay. So we put that in, we can kill that here. Okay, let me quickly commit that. Then we'll try it out. So let's first, so we need for the references, we need web search. So references, reference checker. So this thing needs web search. I don't know how to do that, but we can find out here. Documentation, web search, plugins, available permissions. So read, edit, skill to do, and we want here web fetch and web search. That's what we want. Web fetch, allow, and web search also allow. Christ, I want to try it out. So, okay, we got that. External links. Code references. It's file format. Internal links, code references, external links. IntelliJ SDK. Do I need to say that I can use it? Yeah, I know, right? 70K to go. How much did we spend already? 12. External links. References, topic, name. References. Okay, so what does it mean? Is it, it's not, oh, no. It's within the, so we cannot do anything here. Check existing docs, extract all, verify each reference. So check. So now let's go to IntelliJ docs. If required, search the web for references. Specifically, what else we got? I don't know. Well, it will find out. Document findings in structured format, continue processing despite errors. Okay. So we got that. What else? Drafter, editor, language skill. We fixed that. So we still got Christ, I do need to commit again. Okay. Because the copy analyst, right? So the copy, not the copy, the code analyst. The code analyst is supposed to extract user information about user-facing features from the GrammarKit repository. Right now, oh God, I can only write human. It's so stupid, right? I want you to check it because I think it will extract some implementation details. Right now, it looks like that the agent definition in .OpenCode code analyst might extract implementation details about methods. That is not its task. It needs to extract information about how to use GrammarKit as a user. From the implementation. Okay. Can you ensure that this is what is happening? And if not, and improve the sub-agent. Go wild. I hate it when it says you're absolutely right. No, I'm not. I'm just making an observation. I mean, if it works, then it works. So now we can say Control X write and see what the sub-agent is doing. Sub-agent session. Extracting internal developer comments about implementation. Analyze implementation. This explicitly asks for the look how things work. Core algorithms. Still focus on algorithm. Yeah, I think it kind of understood what I mean. I really hope that works after that. Yes, that's good, right? That's good. Preparing edit. Thank you. How would you know where we are here? Okay, let's have a look. You are a code analyst, a specialist who extracts user-facing features from source code. You analyze implementation to understand what users can do, not how things work internally. Thank you. Okay, information source, read info, read main image description for me. Okay, check attribute docs. I think that's wrong. Attribute descriptions. I mean, I can. Okay, so wait. So GrammarKit messages. Where? What? Oh, resources. Okay, sorry. Resources, messages, attribute descriptions, class header, fallback stub element type. So that's good. Okay, sounds good. So what actually changed here? Feature discovery, configuration discovery, and it's now, okay. So let's see. Yeah, that sounds better. Include file references only for examples. Document missing user documentation. Okay. Attributes, allowed usage. Okay. Values, examples. Um, you write job of example, fix this by including only reference information that the example generator subagent can use. Oh no, I don't want to say that. I want to say fix this so that it works when the example generator subagent sees the output of the code analyst and retrieves examples. Like babysitting, really. Okay, see you later. So I fixed the separation of concerns, code analyst, example generator. Right. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, access restriction required. First, read that. Understand what features are allowed. Access file listed in code evidence. Why did you? Okay, let's use that. So here we go. Okay. We want a new session. We want now the tech docs. I'm not sure if I need to restart it. Let's restart it. Okay, tech docs. Now, we have the very wrong documentation page. Wait, let me check where it is here. Of getting started installation. So your task is to create the evidence ledger for documentation page docs. I think it's getting started, and then installation. Let's see if it can do that. Okay. No evidence ledger yet. I'm not sure it can do that because okay, let me interrupt it and say plan. Can you check which of the agents available in available in OpenCode agent is responsible for creating the evidence ledger files and meta information ? Has the agent, the responsible agent, the permission to create these files, create or edit these files ? Go. The workflow is clear. TechDocs agent orchestrates process but cannot write files directly. It delegates to specialized agents who do have write permissions. The evidence ledger structure should be created by the evidence writer agents when they write their respective files. Okay. 1. Should the evidence be created manually or should we delegate? Delegate it. 2nd. Should the evidence files strictly match what's in the existing documentation, or should they also include additional features? The evidence needs to be aligned with available information, not the existing docs. A retrospective search might be necessary. 3rd, execution mode. Would you like me to proceed with executing this plan, switching out of plan mode? Would you prefer to review? Execute. Execute. And here say tech docs. Oh, let's see if that works. Still no evidence ledger. That's wild. Oh, there it is. Now it's there. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's exactly what I wanted. So file type associations, default actions. So, I mean, that's too much, right? No marketplace installation instructions in code. No explicit minimum maximum version constraint. No project wizard or setup assistance. Installation and setup. Okay, let me get something to drink. Back in 1 second. Okay. So I think with all this evidence, right, it's far too much. Okay, so we need to check that, where this is coming from. Okay, so I need to ask that. So delegating, come on. I need to create evidence. With right permissions. Topic. So I think that is not the objective. That's the objective of Quick Start tutorial, but not the installation and setup. Why? Why is it there? Okay, actually it is here. That's weird. Installation and setup. So this is far too much, right? Okay, so here I want to know. To explain why in the created evidence for task goes far beyond what is necessary for a section called installation and setup. Evidence and topic summary. Contains basically everything, not just the topic Exactly. Complete IDE integration, pause it, exactly. The evidence includes grammar, parser attributes, IDE features, token definition. The example included complex patterns like expression pausing and so on. Topic summary scope creep. The topic summary includes sections like, yeah. The fundamental issue was that I didn't properly scope the evidence collection to the specific documentation section. Instead of asking what the user needed to know, the agent essentially answered, what can GrammarKit do? Your task is to understand the agents in OpenCode agent and provide a plan to properly scope the evidence. The root source of information of a topic should always be the specific section in info from that. A narrow topic focused scope should be the goal. Is there a problem in my agent definition files? Definition files. Is instructed to use the outline as the primary scope definition. No agent is instructed. Okay, the TechDocs orchestrator doesn't reference the outline at all. Okay. Instead of generic prompts, create focused ones based on the outline. Yeah, come on. All right, I think I will continue offline a bit and then finally go to bed. Thanks everyone for watching who was here. Have a great